Good evening, team. How are you all?
Good evening, sir. Fine.
Good evening, sir.
What about you? Vicharadhan?
What about you, sir?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, let's start with the yesterday assessment. Yeah, can someone start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Shubham. Go ahead.
Mm, as per yesterday's session, if I have to give example about database, data warehouse and data mart,
Yes.
then we can take example of like uh, school. In school, uh, if we give exam, and then teacher enters marks for every test, then it is stored like in our database. and
Yes.
uh, if if we have to check performance yearly, and if we have to check the marks of student 2 years ago, 3 years ago, then for that we have to store in from data warehouse we can check that. And for data mart, if the like if we have to mathematics department, history department, then we will choose specific that department that can be called as a data mart.
Yes, exactly.
Is it fine?
Yeah, yeah. Good, good. Shubham. Next.
Hi, sir. Can I start?
Navina, your voice is very low.
Hello.
Yeah, Navina, your voice is very low.
Oh, 1 second, sir. Now, okay, sir. Hello.
Oh, is it for me only, for others also?
Yeah, that's also.
Yeah. Can you please little bit louder?
Hello.
Yes, Navina, you're audible, but it's not that much high frequency. We'll go with Kumar. Kumar, can you continue?
Yeah, sure. For example, database with data stored. Uh, there is example app, streaming app Netflix. It stores movie titles and watch history, subscription details, all those things. And for example, data warehouse with data mart. We have some online games like PUBG, like any other games. It stores game survival statistics, analytics games, and game logs, all those things. And real-time data warehouse, like example, we can take Google Maps, where it tracks live traffics and current locations, fastest routes, all those things.
Okay,
That's it.
good. Next, Darshan.
Hello.
Yes, Darshan. Please go ahead.
Uh, in data warehouse example, I can give is matrimony sites in which all the data warehouse data is of the boy or a girl is being stored, and for in the data mart we can categorize according to the what are the expectations of a girl or a boy according to that.
Okay. Purna. Are you there, Purna?
Yes, sir. Can I audible?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
So, for the data warehouse, we can take like Amazon. In the Amazon, we have whole data of all the departments in uh, sorry, like consolidate manner. That is massive data. So coming to data mart, it's a subset of the data. For example, sales team have a separate kind of data, and inventory team has the uh, different set of data. So this is the example of data warehouse and data mart.
Okay. Next, Navina.
Sir, now I'm audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can.
My screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. The first task which you given is like real-time examples of database and what type of data is stored, right? So, hello?
Yes, yes, you are audible. You can again go ahead. You're following.
Yeah. So I have taken these two, so that one is sports, one is weather report. So for weather prediction, so in the database, daily basis or for tomorrow or today, daily basis, the weather report and weather data will capture, right? So it's also one kind of a data we can store in the database. So that's why I have taken one is weather and another is sports. Sports data also like cricket, how many like player statistics, game performances, the reports, how they are doing, how they're performing. So all the data which can store in the database. And second thing is like I have taken data mart and data warehouse means here I have taken one is manufacturing and another is soap factory. Uh, so here data warehouse in the manufacturing means so like manufacturing for example any item or product whichever it is from the raw materials, so we will take from so many departments, customer data, inventory data. So regarding completely manufacturing or regarding any product from the end to end, we want to get into the all the departments for manufacturing one product. So in so all the data will come under data warehouse. So and data mart means specifically, for example, customer after giving that product into the market. So what is the customer support? Like what is the review of the customer? Feedback, building relationships of the customer. So that is one department of the. So that is data mart. Like in the same way for soap factory also. Sir, I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible. It's clear.
Yeah, and third one, real-time usage of the data warehouse by any organization you given, na? So like a travel company, I have taken as a travel company. So any bus travel, so in that bus journey, budget, any safety of the customers, timing, comfort, and so all the details, whichever it is for the bus travels, we want to maintain this. So depend upon the customer rating, like it depend upon the past rating of the customers only we can book the travels. So like what is the difference between I understood is database and data warehouse. In data warehouse, historical information will be recorded and it will be as a memory. So depend upon that past data only, past rating of the customers only, we can book the bus of the travels, any travels. That's it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So with this, I can understand that you are all come to have a knowledge on yesterday's topics, like what is database and what is data warehouse, what is data mart. Okay, can I acknowledge in that way? Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, Sir, I have doubt about yesterday, assignment. Can I ask after the session or now?
You can proceed. You can proceed. You can.
Sir, I completed that assignment, but uh, I think last two questions I was unable to solve it. And one more doubt is like I completed that, but how to save that file in Porter? Like
You
we
are
are,
asking about the Unix.
yeah, Unix assignment.
Okay, Unix will have a section of brief on Friday. Once you have you have completed, so you are going to have a brief session on Friday. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Keep all your doubts, whatever you have. We'll have a brief session of recall. We'll recall all the doubt clarifications and like what is the command used to create a folder. So we'll have like a 10 to 15 type, 15-minute session on Unix.
okay, fine.
Okay.
And in that
Meanwhile,
session, you will inform us about how to save in that folder.
yes, yes.
Oh, okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
Saving a folder in a file, like, right? You're asking.
We are doing all work in VM workstation. Na?
Okay.
From VM workstation, we are just giving commands like mkdir for creating directories. But how to import that commands or that assignment into the portal?
Okay. Okay. We'll discuss. We'll discuss on Friday. Meanwhile,
Okay,
go
okay,
through the sessions of 3 sessions, right? Go through the
oh,
sessions, complete that. We'll have a recall session like Unix
yeah, yeah.
session on Friday.
Oh,
I'll try to
okay,
give the answers on Friday, whatever the assignments I have given.
okay, sir.
Rest of all the assignments you are clear, right? You are able to do the other assignments. Yeah, today we will cover up the topics like what is OLTP and what is OLAP and what is an ETL and what is how the ETL flows and what is mean by data lineage and what is ODS. What is the difference between data warehouse and ODS? So firstly, is it clear? Is my voice? Am I audible for everyone, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes.
you are
Yes,
audible.
yes. If not, please stop me and inform me, okay?
Yes.
What is mean by OLTP system? The OLTP system is nothing but online transaction processing. It's a online transaction processing. So where it will work is when you have a bank of ICICI. Yesterday we have seen the example like uh, data warehouse concept. It has the history of 30 years. Okay, 30 years historical data will be there. So suppose if a person went to the bank and if he asked for the previous 25 years data, okay, that time this data warehouse which saves the historical data, it will give you the it will give you the information on his previous account statement which is 25 years ago. So that's the use of this case. So if that process is not there, So only OLTP system like data warehouse concept is not there. So that time what will happen if you are going to perform the operations in only one database? So the data is more and it will leads to complexity, like it will make you to disturbance to the your data. So that time what happened is, for the example, yesterday we have taken the memory issue, like 100 GB data is there. So 90 GB data was stored in data warehouse and 10 GB data was there in database. So the data which is there in front of your, or in real time scenarios, what we can call real time scenarios, like banking system, when you go for a account opening, or withdrawal systems, so ATM withdrawals, all these kinds of transaction, we call it as online transactional process, which they are used for. It's not like a historical one, it's like a analytical process it is going to be used. So when when to reduce the redundancy or to reduce the burden on a database, we use this system, the process. It's like a what we can call, like yesterday we have seen the example for a memory issues, like 90 GB data was stored in data warehouse, 10 GB data was there in database. So in that database only we are going to work 10 GB data. So the bank employee will come, he will open an account, or he will withdraw some amount, immediately it will affect, right? So it will not take much time. So sometimes you go to some ATM account and you will withdraw some money. Does it impact earlier or it will take some time? It's need to be impact earlier, because it should impact, because whenever you have withdrawn some amount, it should impact your account summary. So the account detail should be changed, whatever the current account or savings account, the balance in your account should be changed. So it should not take much time. So in the same way, these OLTP systems are need to be performed on a regular basis. So these kind of system which they are using, we call it as online transactional process. These data should not take much time, and these data should be optimized, and it should be ready to insert or update, that kind of things. Okay, so these system which should be available for the front end. So other than that, we have the data in data warehouse. So what is the use of data warehouse? Like it stores the historical data. Okay, this data which is used for, yesterday we have seen, like it's used for the analytics purpose and for the business management to check the sales trend analysis, what is the profitability reports, and what is the trends, like how is our product is sale, so product sales. So so like that kind of data is going there in data warehouse. So whatever the data warehouse process, or whatever the data in the data warehouse process that is used, so that we can call it as online analytical processing. The process we call it as OLAP and OLTP. But in real time, we can call it as a data warehouse. And in the OLTP, we are calling it as database. The process we are calling it as OLTP only. But the real time, we are calling it as database only. It is like a theoretical one, so we can't explain the things on theoretical base, right, in real time. So that's why we keep the words like database only. So someone will go to the bank and you'll ask for your 1 month data. So what is the system that used over there?
OLTP.
Yeah, exactly. So what if the person goes see, he has taken some insurance, so that longer time, like 15 years or 20 years, now he comes to mature date, his policy was matured, and he want to withdraw that policy. So what is the system that can be used over there?
OLAP.
OLDP, exactly, because the historical data, the analytic purpose, which we are going to use it as a OLAP, that is data warehouse. Whereas your recent transactions or accounts opening or like ATM withdrawals or your balance inquiries, when you have take another example like you have some Amazon website, right? So with that you are going to order some goods, some products. So when you have some ordered your product, you will get receive some product ID, so order ID, right? So what is the system that worked over there?
Uh, OLTP.
OLTP, because it should impact on earlier base, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's the real time example of OLAP and OLTP. In the Amazon, give some example like OLAP. What will you give?
Reviews.
Yeah, proceed.
Reviews if we have to check 2 years, 3 years before
No,
reviews.
no, Shubham, your voice is like some wind is coming, I feel.
Am I audible now?
You're audible, but some disturbance is there.
Uh,
Yeah, no problem. We'll continue. Yeah, for Amazon websites, it's a goods carrier, right? So that time it will give you the some Amazon business account was opened or some store was opened for a vendor. So it was closed on a or it was running from the past 10 years or 15 years. So the customer calls and he has ordered some he will give you some product and he will give you some product date. So you will retrieve the data from the OLAP. So or you will retrieve the data from data warehouse. The process of retrieving we call it as OLAP process, which is working right for this scenario is OLAP concept. It will be used for the how your profit and what was the purchase date over there. So, so what is the decision that was made for that customer to purchase that product? So these kind of things can be used by the OLAP. So you can go through the document, you'll get the difference between how this OLAP and OLTP is going to use. So OLAP is going to have some complex queries for analysis purpose compared to OLAP. OLTP is more like it's like a reliable. So it should impact earlier. I think some PPT issue there. It the slide was came for both. So I'll try to give the original date. I think okay. I think the slide is mistaken. It was duplicated. I'll give you this document once I update. Okay. So if you are clear with the OLAP and OLTP,
yes, sir.
yeah. Anyone? Any queries? No. Okay. Fine. We'll move to another concept. So this is the example of difference between what is OLAP and what is OLTP. OLTP is real-time transaction processing. So it should need to be impact earlier. So it is a real-time concept. It's current and highly detailed. Current means it should be updated on regular basis. So whereas OLAP is not current, it should be aggregated and it should be historical. The operations we are going to perform in OLTP is insert. Insert is nothing but you are adding some account balance in your account. So that should be needed. So that should impact earlier. So you have done some adding your funds. So that's the case. And update is like so you have updated your email ID or phone number. So that's the case. Or else you can delete that. It's like a withdrawals. So these performances should impact earlier. So whereas OLAP is going to have some complex queries like group by joins, so that kind of operations need some time. So for OLAP, for better understanding real-time example is like insurances and policies, or some kind of business loans is there, right, which saves the previous data. So that is the real-time examples of OLAP. So coming to the fast, OLTP is more fast compared to the OLAP. Read and write. So, but the performance of the system should be read and write. So OLAP is using for the analysis and report storage purpose, right? So we are reading the data which is there in the data warehouse. We are going to read that data. So whereas in OLTP data, we are only writing the data, like we are updating and we are giving the instructions to that data. So most of the real-time cases, banking systems and e-commerce, these things are using OLTP. And whereas Power BI tools like for the visualizations or data warehouses, these kind of systems are using OLAP process. So when the data is more compared to the organization or in the organization, that time only these process will introduced. Other than that, if the data is less, no need to go for a data warehouse. You can go for a database and you can store the data in the database, and you can work on when the historical data is more, company's organization data is more, then only we can go for a OLTP and OLAP concept. Next, we'll see what is data lineage. So, data lineage is nothing but it's a process where the data is coming, how the data is moved, how the data is transformed, how the data is going to be stored in a data warehouse, or how it is going to be visualized, the entire data from the source. Like you have some 10 inputs, like 10 sources. Here we can see the image. It is the source 1 and it is the source 2, and it was processed. Like these two inputs are being merged. Okay, these two inputs are merged here in the staging area. So what happened here is staging area is nothing but it is like a movement or a transformation or like a flow. So it is flowing here. After that, what happening, it is stored into a data warehouse. So what is the use of data warehouse? It is using for the analytics purpose. So this is called process. This is processing and it is moving into a data warehouse. The data warehouse is consumption, is like a, is consumed the data, and it is using for the analytics purpose. So the entire process we call it as data lineage. Taking the data from the origin or a source, processing the data or moving the data, applying the transformation, so storing into a data warehouse. The entire concept we call it as data lineage. So what is the use of data lineage? So first we'll see what is the key aspects. So we have seen the image. So what you have observed here? What is the main things over there? The main things are source, where the data is coming, and how the transformation is happening, how the data is flowing, and where it is going to be stored. So these are the three main things, right? See, in the real time scenarios, we'll see how this data lineage is going to be utilized. So in the source concept, we'll see where the data is original, whether the data is received from a database or API or a file. Sometimes it should be from the cloud also. So after that, we are doing some transformations. Like if the data is not clear, should be have some null values, or we need to add some operations, or we need to have some like multiple operations, or we need to add some more columns. So that kind of operations we are going to perform in the transformation stage. Destination. So destination is nothing but a target. So after we have done the transformation, where the data is going to be stored, whether it is going to be stored in a report file, or it is storing in a data warehouse, or it is stored or it is going to be visualized in a dashboard, like the dashboard tools we have several, like, so whether it is used in that way. So flow is nothing but whether the path, how the path is going to be there, takes place from the source to destination. So sometimes we have several transformations, right? So according to the requirement, the flow will change. So flow is nothing but from source to destination, how many transformation it has taken place. So according to the uh, requirement, we will done several transformations. So every time we'll not do one transformation, right? So the flow is nothing but source to target, how many transformation it takes place. So that is, we call it as the flow. Dependency is nothing but whenever we have same data, so we need to depend upon other data, like we can say real-time example, like mm, suppose we have some weather report today, right? So the Android system or in your phones, you are going to get the notification, like they are going to expect the tomorrow's and other coming up days weather report, right? So it will give you the exact or not exact, but it will guess the environment or atmosphere, and it will give you the temperature details, or it will give you the but raining system, or the whether it will give be it is going to be rained or not. If it in the rainy season, it will give you how many centimeters of rain it is going to be uh, fallen, or in the summer season they are going to predict the values of percentage of or degree Celsius of temperatures. So that time what happened is they are going to depend upon the data of previous previous days data. So if today is like some 42 degrees centigrade temperature was there, so they will predict based upon today's data. They will predict and they will tell you, like, for the next 5 to 6 days we are going to have the some 40, 42, that kind of. So this is called dependency on the data. So today's data they are going to depend for the tomorrow's prediction. So that's the dependency over here. So what is data lineage will be used for? It is used for data trust and transparency. Like we can understand how our data is accurate or reliable. Like without any data, we can't predict the tomorrow's data, right? So we have some FDs in your account. So you'll get some FD interest. So without the FD amount, no one going to calculate the interested amounts. So in the same way, uh, data must be trusted and transparency. So the accurate data should be there for the data flow. So debugging issues, like data should be without any error or without any null value. So in the flow, what you have observed is two sources, they have some data. So assume that you have some error in some data too, which is coming from the source too. So if you are having some performances, transform performances here, so what it will lead, it will lead you to some error. So without debug or without doing some data validation operations here, we need not to go for a other operations like transform operations here. So the data lineage will give you the data debugging issues also, because it before going for the transformations we need to check sometime in the real time scenarios, what we could called as the client will give you the input things, and he will first ask you to do some data validation. So what is mean by data validation? So he will give you some data types and he will give you some data. So according to that, you have to do the data validation, like whether that is going to be matched with your input data types which was given from the client. So you need to check the null values, whether we have any null values or space issues between the input. So that's why we call it as data validation. So debugging is nothing but data validation. And impact analysis. So from the source to logic or a target, so you will get the impact, like with after performing the transform operations over here, you will get how your data is impacting. So you are having some two sources, you have done some transformations. Suppose you don't done any transformations, so directly it is added here, merged here, and it will give you go for analytics Power BI. So it will give you the result. So that time also these data lineage is used, how your data is changed from source to target. So what is the effect of your source or data source? So compliance is nothing but whenever your data is as I explained in the real-time example of temperature expectation details or like rain system expectation details. So it will leads to give the compliance also, because so you have the data but you haven't reached some person has changed the data. So that time you can predict the data of tomorrow's. So you have predicted in a wrong way. So that time it will leads to check what is the input, whether it was given correctly or not. So today's a rain was happened, some other 5 centimeters rain was happened, so it was given the input like 2 centimeters only. So according to the data only, the system is going to generate a record like for a particular 2 to 4 days, next 2 to 4 days. So here you can see the source system whether it was recorded correctly or not. So that will lead to give the track of the data. So you can track the data usage also. The concept of we'll see the real-time scenario. So imagine if you are looking at a sales report. So if there is a dashboard, you have some sales report over here. So the number is coming from sales database. The source is sales database. So they were transformed through ETL. Some ETL performances has been happened. So ETL transformation is nothing but you have some sales data in some US country. Okay. So you need to convert that currency into the Indian currency. So you have used the transformation, and according to the Indian currency, the sales details was changed. So the transformation is here is currency conversion. So, and you are storing in a data warehouse. From the data warehouse, it is going to visualize a dashboard, Power BI dashboard. The data stored in data warehouse is filtered type or a Excel sheet or a tabular form in the data warehouse. So after that, it is going to be visualized how the sales are there year to year or month to month. It depends upon the data. So here the example is sales related example, how this happened. So here is the real-time scenario of a sales sales report. So from the database, how the transformation is happening, how it is going to be stored in data warehouse. So after storing the data warehouse, how it was going to be used for the real-time businessmen. So this is the use of data lineage. Clear with the flow of data lineage?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll see what is mean by ETL. ETL is nothing but, so in the data lineage, you come across some ETL word is there. So from the source to target, there is a word called ETL. So what exactly ETL means? It will extract the data from the source. So here the input is sales data. So there is a tool which is used to extract this data from the sources. Here I have three sources: source 1, source 2, source 3. It should be anything. Source can be anything. It should be a file or a database, or it should be a JSON file, or it should be a HSN, XML file, anything. So after that, ETL extract the data from the source, and it will perform some data operations or transform operations like adding or subtraction. So in real time, it is currency conversion or filtering, or it can be some join operations or merge operations. So that type of. So these transform operations are performed by the ETL. And loading into a data marts, or different kinds of data marts, or entire data warehouse. So ETL will perform the operations like extract the data, transform the data, and load the data. The tools which are used for the extraction, transformation, and loading. So in real time scenarios, we'll see how many types of ETL extraction is there, what is the type of transformation available in the Abinitio, and how the data is going to be loaded into a output file, into a output table, or into a hype table, or into a JSON file. Output can be anything. So input also sometimes can be file, can be a table, can be a texted file, can be a hype table, can be a JSON file, can be a SQL statement also. So we can extract the data using the SQL statement also. So we'll see in the ab initio sessions how these extraction is happening, what type of, how many type of extraction is there, so how many types of loadings will be there, and how many types of, what is the type of transformations that are available in the ETL. So ETL tool, we are going to have some components. Each components have the different purpose. So we can't do the one operation, all the operations with one component. For every operation, there is some component. Suppose we have some 10 employees from the uh, organization. So you want the input source like a input file is there, and you need to be uh, like the salaries range from 1 lakh to 10,000 for the 10 employees. So you want a descending or an ascending order of employees who are having the 10,000 salary to 1 lakh salary. You need a ascending order, like increasing order. So the input is having some sorted thing, like it is not sorted. It is not in a ascending order. It's like a random, and you need to load it into a database or a table. The input is file, the output is into a table. So what is the transformations happened here is, input, you need to take an input component, so that should read the file, input file component. And after performing the operations, what is the transform function you need to be performed here is, you need to apply the sort component over there. Okay, you need to apply the sort component. It will give you the output, and you need to connect the transform to output table. So this is the flow. We are going to learn more on ETL tools. So this is the flow for the example I have given. In the transform, you need to give the sort component, and you need to select the operation like ascending. So if you run the job, it will take the input of 10 employees, and it will divide the it will transform the operation like ascending order. It will operate, and it will give you the result loaded into a table in a ascending order. So that is the use case of ETL. ETL will perform the operation of extraction, transformation, and loading at a time. So we'll see how the ETL process breakdown is there. So as I said earlier, it pulls the data from the various source system. So it should be file or a database, or it should be API, web API, or an Excel sheet, or a Salesforce data, or sometimes nowadays we are extracting the data from the cloud also. So pulling the information from different sources, we call it as extraction. Another thing is transform. Transform is nothing but just we have discussed sorting or formatting, cleaning, filtering or restructuring the data, removing the duplicatings, or converting the date formats, or converting the currency formats. So these kind of concatenate functions, like string we have, so we need to add two strings, so we need to use a concat string concat functions. So we have several transformation functions in Abinitio. We'll discuss in the Abinitio sessions what is the number of transformations we have. For every transform, we have different kinds of component. So move the transform data into the target system. So loading the data into the, after transforming, transformation functions applied. So you will going to load the data into a data warehouse, or we are going to store in a file, or we are going to store in a normal database. So here I have the example like Snowflake, BigQuery, Redshift. So these are, sometimes you are going to save in a file also, right? Output should be some file also. So based upon the requirement of a client, you are going to perform the operations. So what is the benefit? What is the use of benefit? So data integration. So data integration is nothing but we are combining the data from the different sources. By applying the transformation functions, we are combining the data from the different platforms. So suppose you have ordered some product from the e-commerce website. So here order is nothing but one record. So, okay, order is nothing but one record. So other person calls the Amazon customer care and he ordered the other product. That is also one record. In this case, what is happening means the data is coming from different sources. One is directly from the business user and another is from the business client. So both the inputs you are taking and the person is same, but the different kind of input he is giving. So here the data integration is happening from different sources. System is different, but the source record is same. So you are doing the data integration. Integration is nothing but adding the data from many sources. Data cleaning. Cleaning is nothing but your data is whether it is working fine or not, any data issues are there, any data quality operations need to be performed or not, whether your data records are coming with perfect alignment or not. So that kind of things you are going to see in the data validation concept. Data warehouse, like as you can experience, L is nothing but loading concept. So you are loading the data in the data warehouse for analytics and reporting purpose, performance, and transform data before loading to reduce query time. So if ETL is not there, right, you have one source, you perform the data operations or transform operations in ETL. So if ETL is not there, so what you will do, you will directly load into a database. Okay, you will store it in a database. So that time what you have to do is you need to write some complex queries over there to check the currency conversions or add another column. So that time your requirement takes lot of time. So to reduce the required time or query balance, so these ETL will takes place and it will reduce the time and it will reduce the burden on the database also. So after applying the transformations, your burden to get the required details or required data is time is getting less. We'll see the real-time example of ETL. So as I earlier said, ETL. So it will extract the data of Shopify or a Google Ads. So transform that data, load the data into a data warehouse, and it will give you the sales dashboard. So how these sales dashboards will see the how sales means nothing but a orders. So they are going to extract the data from the ordered data. So they are going some operations like merge, clean, what is the rate of interest for that ordered data. So that kind of sales dashboard, e-commerce websites example is for extraction, transformation, and loading. So coming to bank system, so it will extract the transaction of a branch system. It's like you want to you need a some data warehouse, some fraud is happened. So how you are going to complain and report over there means, yeah, you are going to go for it, extract the data of a branch, so branch systems, and you will see the currencies conversions, and you will apply some operations, transform operations over there, like what is the current balance in the branch, what is the gold rate, and what is the gold stock in the branch, and how the policies are taken from the branch, and what is the number of policies made, or how much amount needs to be there in that particular branch, whether these are currently perfect, or that you will check, and loading the into a data warehouse, you will you will match the that data from your end, and from the data you are extracted from a data extraction from a branch system. And healthcare, the patient data you have in the hospitals, right? And you will apply some transformations like um, the patient has paid some bills, so he has some duplicated some bill he has paid twicely. So in the transform, what will you apply? You will apply some remove duplicate, and you will see what is the final amount over there. So these are the real-time use cases of ETL applications. Social media monitoring and logistics is like extract the data of a GPS or a delivery data from your mobile devices, and you will transform like calculate delivery times and route optimizations. So you here logistics means you have some you have ordered some product in the you have ordered some product from the e-commerce website. So after ordered, you have some you will receive some message like your order ID and your expected time date delivery, and what it is your route, right? So here the scenario worked in the real time, what it is means, your ETL tool will give the scenarios for your distance, what is your destination, from the source to destination. It will calculate the distance, and it will give you the expected date of delivery. So the operations which is performed in between your source, like your order and your delivery, in between these operations, that is going to be performed by a ETL tool. So it can be anything, but the operations must be performed by ETL tool only. So we have some popular ETL tools like Abinitio, Talent, Informatica. As I think you're all aware of these things. These first five: Abinitio, Talent. Talent is an open source, and which is Abinitio is not an open source. It is a license-free cost. The license cost of Ab Initio is around 1.2 crores. Presently, the Ab Initio is leading with the many banking clients and e-commerce and healthcare. So many healthcare, banking, and telecom clients are using Ab Initio due to the security, and it is leading, like it is handling the data of large data in a simple way. So it is handling the large data, so that many clients are shifting to Ab Initio. So if they are working in other ETL tools also, nowadays they are migrated to Ab Initio. Compared to the other ETL tools, Ab Initio is more secured, and the it is handling large volume of data. Abinitio, Talent, Informatica. Informatica is also an ETL tool. Microsoft WSIS. IBM is having IBM Data Stage. So I have given some hyperlink here. Go through the hyperlink. here. So you will get to know what is the type of ETL also. So we have several types of ETLs, like whether it is free of cost or whether it is license based. So based upon the tool, that is divided into uh, different kinds of ETL. So you can go through the link and you'll get to know what is the number of types of ETL tools available in the market and what is the usage where you are using that ETL tool. So that should be the reference purpose. I have added that hyperlink. You can go through that document. So this is the use of ETL. So lastly, we'll see what is mean by ODS. So ODS is nothing but a operational data store. Like it's like a centralized database to store real time or near real time operational data from multiple system. So it should be act as a staging area between OLTP and OLAP, and it should used for reporting analysis. So the main difference between data warehouse and uh, ODS, it used for same. The concept of store and the house is same, but the main difference between ODS and data warehouse is it is going to be frequently updated. It's not just a historical data, and it stores current and recent transactional data. The only difference between, you have to uh, keep in mind that ODS is nothing but a, it's like a it's like a staging area between OLTP and OLAP. So see, you have seen here the image. You have some OLTP databases, and you have some servers, and you have some logs, you have some APIs, flat files. So these are the input sources. So what we call it as OLTP systems, which are frequently changing. So after continuous extraction from different sources, we are transform functions and will store into a data warehouse using the ETL. Okay, here you can see some batch operations are performed in the ETL tool, and you are going to store into a data warehouse. Here, operational data store plays a major role in between the OLTP and OLAP. Here it is called as OLAP. So it is the bridge between OLTP and OLAP. Operational data store will have the both OLTP and OLAP concepts of data. Okay, it should be act like a bridge. So how it is acting like a bridge, we'll see with the real time example. So these ODS is going to verify, and it will give you the instruction to you, like where it is going to be stored your data. If it is a OLTP data, it is going to be stored in a database, or it is OLAP means it is going to be stored in a data warehouse. So according to the transaction, it will decide. So we'll see what is the real-time example of ODS. Suppose you are in a retail company, so, and you have some inventory of or sales report from a. So the customer will flow into the ODS in real time. So what the manager used is, so he want to see, suppose some order is there, some order will come, um, and he want to check. So what is the sales, so how many sales were happening today, and he want to also check what is the inventory, whether this product is available in my system or not, he will check. So this time the ODS concept will there, it will check the today's sales, and it will also check the, it will interact with the data warehouse, and it will check the last month or previous month's sales, how this product is there in the inventory or not. So sometimes what will happen is the data in the ODS might be moved to a data warehouse for the long-term storage for the analytics purpose. So based on the requirement of a customer, whether it is going to be stored in a database or not, he will decide. So suppose you take the banking system example. You have opened some FD, okay, for some particular 1 year or 2 years. So what happened means, so you have opened some FD and that will call it as a record, and the data is stored in your database. So if you are not been aware of, like if you are not taken the withdrawal, what is happened is means it is going to be stored in a database only, the record. If it is takes longer than time, like 1 month or 2 months, so what it is going to be do is the record is going to be stored in a data warehouse. So your withdrawal time is taken more time, so you have not withdrawn your amount, so that record, FD amount record, is going to be stored in data warehouse. So this is like a bridge between today's transaction and previous transaction. It's like it's like a bridge between extraction, transformation, and loading. So it will decide, it has both the details of present data and historical data also. So it will decide whether it is going to be stored in data warehouse or OLAP or OLTP. So this is the difference between data warehouse, how this ODS is different from data warehouse. So data type. So we have seen like it should be, ODS should be real time or not real, near real time. It should be near to your data warehouse. So it's not should be the historical or summarized as compared to the data warehouse. The use case is like operational reporting. For data warehouse, that is used for analytics purpose, because since it is having the historical data, so we can take the decision from the data warehouse, but we can't take the decision by using the ODS data refresh. So as it can say it is a OLTP data, the frequently the data is going to change because that is a real time data. So coming to the data warehouse data, it is a periodical one, like it's a previous data, or it should be a long data. As we can say it's a historical data, so it should not change. And once any kind of transaction happen compared to your recent transaction, if it is matches with the data of in the data warehouse, these ODS will move the data from the real time to data warehouse. If it is matches, then only these ODS will share the data from the ODS to data warehouse. Data structure. So ODS data structure is less complex because it should impact earlier bases. So that's why we can have the less complex in the ODS. But whereas in the data warehouse, it is highly structured and we have high amount of or high value of data in the data warehouse. So it's like a OLAP and OLTP concept only. But the only difference between OLAP and these ODS is we have some bridge, like sometimes these ODS data can be, if any kind of data is matched, these ODS data is going to be stored in data warehouse. So with this we come to end of ODS concept. These theoretical knowledge should be there before moving into the concept of ETLs. We'll see some how ODS architecture diagram is there. So this like some app systems will there. So ODS operational current data store will use the current data real-time integration, and it will do the reporting and it is going to be stored in a historical data. So ODS will used for the bridge between the data warehouse and OLTP system. So the real-time example is retail. Suppose you have gone to some big bazaar or DMart. So what happened is that time your data source is your billing system. You have billing system in each store, right? So you have some inventory and you have some customer feedback. So this is the OLTP system. These kind of four OLTP systems we are going to have, because these needs to be performed on a regular basis. It should not impact longer time, so it should impact earlier basis. So suppose the person scans some product, so the scan happens at once and it will give you the product details like what is the price and what is the code, so that is impacted earlier. So here the ODs will do what it will do is, if any product purchase is happened, once it is was scanned, so it will check the ODS. So what is the how much product that was sold, like whether the product is available or not. So it will check what is the current stock level, how many stocks or how many number of product available. So, is there any complaints related to that project? That kind of details he will check, and it will take you to the ETL process. Like, what is the ETL process need to be done for that particular scan. So, if anything is not there, directly it will move to storage. Scan will happen, and that bill will generate. If not, in that case, if any complaints is there, so it will go to the ETL process and it will read the data from the ODS. So it will do some transform operations like month end sales trends, and it will predict the how the sales data of that product is there. So according to that, these process will happen. So once if anything is not there, so it will directly store into a database, and it will go to the database and it will generate the bill. So these are the concepts that we have covered today. So can anyone summarize what are the concepts that we have covered today?
Yes, sir. Uh, Today we covered OLTP and OLAP concept at first. In OLTP, OLTP is like we have current record, like if we have to track record of 1 month, 2 months, and for historical data we use OLAP. After that OLAP, we learn about data lineage. Data lineage is uh, like if we have to track record before, or we have to, if there is like mislead, then we use data lineage. From that we can track how to go uh, like for debugging versus debugging impact analysis, we can use data lineage. After that we learn about ODS. ODS is uh, like ODS is a intermediate data storage layer that hold real-time or near real-time or integrated data from multiple operational system used for operational reporting. Like it is a bridge between OLTP and data warehouse. Uh, and yes, mm, yeah,
Yeah.
we learned about this.
Okay. Good, Shubham. Any queries regarding today's session? And ping you the in the chat box like what is your tomorrow task?
Okay.
Can someone note it down and share among yourself? So like the task one is like give some real-time example of OLAP and OLTP. Other than,
I will note it.
yeah, okay.
After that, sir.
Yeah, give the example for the data lineage, like from source to target.
Uh, give- target.
Other one is like real-time ETL usage example.
Real time.
So these are the three. One is related to the OLAP and OLTP, and another one is like give me the example of how the data is flowing from source to target by taking the real-time example of data lineage. And another thing is other than which are there in the PPT that I have provided for you. Uh, what is the real-time usage of five examples I have given in the PPT. So make sure that should not be included in this file. Take it from the real time. So take the example, give the example for the ETL usage.
Uh, I will put it on WhatsApp group also.
Yeah, okay, fine. I have shared in the main chat. You can copy. I'll share with this with Ramya, so she can share in the group. Yeah, if you're okay to for today's, so we'll move to tomorrow's session. You're going to start the tomorrow sessions. Like today, we have seen the your examples, right, related to the yesterday task. So we are going to start with the uh, your task details tomorrow after logging in. Okay, fine. Let's move. Bye, everyone.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.